facility and ready to go when you are.
Okay. Is everyone ready?
Yeah.
We're good.
We're good.
Good to go.
Are we recording?
Yes.
Good evening. Wednesday, November 10th, 2021, the working session of the mayor and council. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of all citizens to have advance notice of and to attend all meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting the public is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this act, notice of the meeting of the mayor and council was originally published in the Bergen Record on Sunday, January 10th, 2021, and the Suburban News on February 4th, 2021, and updated in the Bergen Record and the Ridgewood News on Friday, June 2021. Can we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Dillon.
Present.
Councilwoman Cusick.
Present.
Councilman Gutwetter.
Here.
Councilman Jones.
Here.
Councilman Kilman.
Here.
Councilman Weber.
Here.
Councilwoman Woods. Here.
And rise for flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May we have approval of minutes? Well, we don't have any minutes, so we'll move right along. May we have approval of communications?
Yes, Council President, I move that the communications listed on tonight's agenda be received and filed.
I second.
Does anyone have any comment on the communications? Not seeing any. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Cusick.
Yes.
Councilman Gutwetter.
Yes.
Councilman Jones.
Yes.
Councilman Kilman.
Yes,
Councilman Weber.
Yes.
Councilwoman Woods.
Yes.
thank you. It's time for public comment. Anyone wishing to address the governing body and give your name, spelling the last name and address. Please speak in an audible tone and address your comments to the chair. There will be a 5-minute time limit per speaker unless reduced because of the volume of business on the agenda. Please note, public comment is your time. Out of respect and fairness to all, there will be no interruptions or questions answered during your time. No time shall be ceded to anyone else, and no time shall be saved for later use. Any responses may be given during the governing body's comments later in the meeting, or as directed by the chair. The borough clerk is the official timekeeper.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello, I'm James Dolan, D-O-L-A-N, 463 Island Road,
Thank you.
Ramsey. And I just wanted to stop in tonight to remind you, I met briefly with the mayor after the last council meeting. She suggested I send an email to Councilman Weber. I also include Officer Canonico. Did I get it right? And Mr. Weber and the police chief. And I think I had some quite a number of very, very good suggestions because the purpose of the email was to insist that you folks finally begin to enforce a borough ordinance number 717.1. There were many things in that email. I'm not going to go over them all completely, but I guess wanted to ask two questions about them. One question regarding the police force, and one question regarding the destination of all these trucks. I'd like to know if the council has contacted Chief Gurney and met with him or set up an appointment with him so that they can discuss how to implement enforcement of the truck traffic on Island Road. The second part, I suggested strongly that you find a way to contact the vendors at the Interstate Shopping Center because we have tractor-trailer trucks coming in and out of Ferguson Place as late as midnight on Sunday nights, stocking the shelves. And I think it's very important that you meet with your constituents, your commercial constituents, and remind them, perhaps it can be done in writing, so that they can use that written recommendations to forward to their vendors and the people who deliver to their trucks. We're talking about 3 or 4 really major retail stores there who are getting very, very frequent and very heavy-duty deliveries. So I'd like to know if you've contacted the retailers and if you've contacted Chief Gurney. A quick question on another subject. You have to give me a chance later on. I was away for about 1.5 years, and I come home and I find that half of the towns in Bergen County are stigma-free. I have no idea what that means, but maybe one of you can explain it to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dolan. Does anyone have, would like to answer Mr. Dolan at this time, or wait till your comments?
I'll let the mayor address the stigma-free, but as far as the other issues, Chief Gurney is aware of the situation. I have not reached out to any of the vendors at the interstate. I don't even know how to go about doing that, so I'm going to delegate that or pass that along to somebody who would know how to get a hold of them, whether it's the management company or not, I don't know. As far as the issues, coincidentally, we're fortunate enough to have Officer Canonico here, who I've been in contact with all week long. We've been addressing all the issues in your... Sure. So he's already taken it upon himself. He's working closely with the borough engineer. They're doing studies on all the streets, seeing what the tolerance is. As you mentioned in your letter, those ordinances were written in 1960, so they were put in place to protect you, but times have changed. Delivery vehicles are a little bit bigger, they're a little bit heavier. They also have better emission control, so there's things that those ordinances were put in place for way back then that might not be applicable now. So there's the practicality issues, so that ordinance is going to be reviewed. As far as the enforcement of it, I believe that that's just the general practice of the police department, that these are the ordinances, they have to be followed. I did speak to Officer Canonico about that, and in fairness, Chief Gurney is going to delegate it to Officer Canonico, who is in charge of traffic. As far as the ordinance goes, Officer Canonico is over there on a daily basis. It's at different times, it's in unmarked vehicles, it's at different locations along Island Road, so you may not notice it, but he is there enforcing, the ordinances as, mostly from the speed perspective, but also for some of the size of the vehicles as well. As far as the tickets, I couldn't tell you statistics.
Quick response. I've spoken to more than several police officers about this, and they have admitted that they've never issued a ticket. The ones I spoke to, and they have argued with me about the interpretation of the ordinance.
Okay.
But that needs to be done, it should be done right.
And fair enough, sure, we've addressed issues with other,
To bring it, the education of the police officers.
we will do that. When other issues are brought to our attention like that, we've done that. It's like, airlines, things like that. We've addressed the situation over there, the concerns, to the best of our ability. Again, you've been advised that as a county road, there's limitations on what we can do over there, but we'll do everything that we can. I thought it was. Okay, my apologies. Oh, thank you.
Okay, and, Mr. Dillon, I have spoken to Chief Gurney about enforcement of this statute, so I spoke to him about it, right up the day after our meeting, just 2 weeks ago. And regarding stigma-free, that is to remove the stigma associated with mental illness, mental health, to encourage people to get the help that they need and to start dialogues about it. Okay?
So we're not stigma-free, we're trying hard to educate people.
To educate people and also to be more open about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dolan. Does anyone else have a public comment this evening?
Yes, George Buehler, can you hear me?
Yes, George, we can hear you.
George Buehler, B-U-M-I-L-L-E-R, Ramsey. Mr. President, please provide the current status and schedule of the several items that have been mentioned in Ramsey meetings to keep the residents up to date. A detailed letter will be provided. Some information will also be provided on the RamseyNotes.com website and on the Ramsey Notes podcast that has a link on RamseyNotes.com. Examples include, first, the Route 17 North to Franklin Turnpike ramp upgrade and signalization, which Toyota formally committed to pay for nearly 20 years ago. Most recent cost estimate was about $1 million. Second, the now unusable arsenic removable cartridges no longer used with the new water system. Several hundred at several $100s each. And now one that you, Mr. President, have the information at hand. The last campaign flyer highlighted you and that your son graduates from high school in 2022 and also mentions your wife's position. You'd earlier said to residents that you'll move to the Atlanta area where your wife is working when your son graduates. But the flyer lets those who hadn't heard conclude that you're part of the Ramsey family rather than soon a Georgia family. Why did you run for re-election when you won't even complete a year? Coming back to Ramsey for 2 days for each meeting doesn't meet the residents' requirements. I believe that the mayor, the de facto party head, knew of your situation and plans. The residents deserve information. Tell us now in this public meeting. You're the chair and you don't have to ask anyone's permission to reply right now, Mr. President. Please tell me and tell everyone.
Mr. Bowmiller, I have no idea where you heard that information. I am not moving to Atlanta. My wife is a position and works remotely, and she works here in Ramsey and goes down to Atlanta for meetings on occasion. But we have no plans in the foreseeable future to move to Atlanta. And I don't know who told you that, but that's news to me. So there it is.
I've spoken to someone who had been told by you. And since this is the legal proceeding,
Can you tell me who it was? Tell me who it was.
I do not want to put them at risk.
Well then it's hearsay.
Who's never told me a lie.
Well, unless it was my wife, that's news to me, and it's false, completely false.
That's interesting. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Bowmiller. Yeah, that would be interesting, wouldn't it? Mr. Parker?
Good evening, Chance Parker, KER, Ramsey, New Jersey. Several weeks ago, I attended the Complete Streets Summit hosted by New Jersey DOT. I'm not sure if we had anyone there representing Ramsey or learning, absorbing some of the information. Best practices, successful projects, implementation, funding opportunities, multimodal network design, protected bike lanes, traffic calming devices, road diets, formation of
To
pedestrian
mute conference participants, press
safety
1.
committees.
To mute conference participants in lecture mode, press 2. To unmute conference participants, press 3.
My apologies, Mr. Parker. Go ahead, you can start again. Sorry.
To mute conference participants,
All right,
press 1. To mute conference participants, and all participants are muted, and they can unmute themselves.
We're good now.
So, very informative, very, developed roundtable discussions, presentations. I don't know, I'd hoped, and unfortunately I didn't see anyone from Ramsey there represented. Maybe you could tell me otherwise. The champion award for 2020 was the New Jersey Safe Passing Act, which was headed up by a task force of the New Jersey Bike and Walk Coalition. This went into effect in August, passed as law, requiring motorists to yield 4 feet of space between pedestrians and cyclists, or reduce their speed to 25 miles per hour. This was largely a bipartisan windfall by all metrics 102 to 1. So with that consideration, many complaints within the community and concerns about pedestrian safety, I would propose that we lower all local roadway speed limit in the Borough of Ramsey to 25 miles per hour. Most, if not many, of our side streets and local roadways are already 25 miles per hour, certainly around schools, congested areas, Main Street, et cetera. And we could also work with the county, who is active in complete streets as well, on lowering the more arterial through county roads to say 35 miles per hour. 40 miles an hour, currently now many people speed at 50 plus miles an hour. In regards to today's agenda, so that's complete streets. I don't know what we're doing with it. We passed a resolution, which was not the model resolution presented by the state or DOT several years ago, and I don't know that we've done any single project that incorporates complete streets to this day. In regards to the agenda tonight, I'd like to know more information on the grant award that's going to Island Avenue, I believe, and also Williams Drive. I'm not familiar with any project or ongoings up there, so if you could unpack that in detail for myself and probably the larger community, that would be helpful. And then one last thing, I have concerns about 1033. I'd like some type of accounting, either now if available or at a later date, as to what type of military equipment we have already procured through this program. This is equipment that's been designed, manufactured, and intended for use on a battlefield. In my opinion, it has no place on civilian suburban streets. So this very much waves in the face of, constitutionalists and our founding fathers preventing or warning us from the standing army that seems to be the over-militarization of local law enforcement lately. So because this is probably one of the safest places to live that I've ever lived in, I don't know if there's an overwhelming criminal aspect or need for upfitted military-grade SUVs and such. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Parker. We'll wait for some of those issues to be addressed in our comments. Would that be, all right. Do we have anyone else? Well, let's see, let me open this up again. Okay. If you're on the line and you have a comment, hit *6, and that will get you into our room here. Again, *6 will open up the line, and you'll be able to make a public comment. And one more time, *6, and you will be able to participate during our public comment session. Not hearing anyone, we will close public comment, and we will move to, there are no ordinances, and we will move to appointments. Different people will be responding during their comments. They'll either do it then or they'll comment. Appointments, please.
Thank you. I appoint Sergeant Michael Parisi to Lieutenant, the Ramsey Police Department, effective January 1st, 2022, and Sergeant Vasily Parados to Lieutenant, Ramsey Police Department, effective January 1st, 2022. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Consent resolutions, please.
Thank you, Council President Gilman. Be it resolved that resolutions 198, 2021 through and including 207, 2021, having been considered by the governing body of the Borough of Ramsey, be and are hereby passed and approved. There are no special permits or block party requests this evening.
I second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Cusick.
Yes.
Councilman Gutwetter.
Yes.
Councilman Jones.
Yes.
Councilman Tillman.
Yes.
Councilman Weber.
Yes.
Councilwoman Woods.
Yes.
Thank you very much. We'll now move into committee and liaison reports. And now Finance and Administration, Councilman Gutwetter, please.
Thank you again, Council President Kilman. Good evening. First off, I would like to congratulate Peter Kilman on his reelection and Sarah Poppy to her election to the Ramsey Town Council. I look forward to working with you both. I'd also like to congratulate Sergeants Michael Parisi and Vasily Parados for their appointments to lieutenants for the Ramsey Police Department. As for the library board, the board has met with engineers and architects regarding renovations to the library, and a presentation was done on Monday evening at the regular meeting. The board will continue to assess its needs for better space utilization and to accommodate the programs it plans to put on in the near future. The Boo Bash, which was scheduled originally for October 30th, was rescheduled due to weather to this past Saturday, November the 6th. While attendance was less than expected, it was still a successful event. The summer reading program, which runs from late June to mid-August, was quite successful, with nearly 2,000 attendees to the various events, and nearly 2,500 books were read. Lastly, the library is looking to begin again its art gallery exhibits, and scheduling will begin once the policies are completed. Check the website for more details. As to the Rec Commission, rec basketball registration for boys and girls will begin soon, with play from mid-December to early March. Rec wrestling will also begin registration shortly. And lastly, the Challenger soccer finishes on November 13th, and Challenger basketball will begin in January. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Gutwetter. Public Safety, Councilman Weber, please.
Thank you, Council President. Starting with Public Safety, I'd like to congratulate Sergeant Pieratos and Sergeant Parisi on the promotions to lieutenant effective January 1st. Rife, we had another meeting tonight, another planning meeting. We had a fantastic Halloween dance 2 Fridays ago, but right before Halloween. I'd like to thank Glenn Popolo, Ani DiTomaso, Umberto Patillo, Council President Peter Kilman, Councilwoman Judy Cusick, Councilwoman-elect Sarah Poppy, and her entire family for coming and doing all kinds of help, serving food, cleaning, and doing everything that they could to make it a real fun event for all of our challengers. Next up, as Councilman Gutwetter mentioned, we're going to wrap up our soccer season this coming Saturday, and we'll begin the basketball in January. We'll take the month of December off. We do have another dance coming up on Friday, November 19th. We'll do a fall dance. We're trying to come up with some kind of a theme, like a turkey trot. But the challengers had such a wonderful time, and again, the community center was such a wonderful venue for the event that we're looking forward to the next dance there. We also have a dance scheduled for December. We'll do a winter theme for that one. And then we'll start doing our 2022 activities. I think our first up would be Humdingers, would be our first event in January. I'd also like to congratulate James DiTomaso again for being the Volunteer of the Year for the Right Committee. Ramsey Municipal Alliance, in conjunction with the Parent Academy at the high school, will be hosting a Madison Holleran Foundation Suicide Prevention Parent Academy. It'll be presented by Maddie's sister, who will be discussing mental health and more issues. And for the Ramsey Municipal Alliance, I'd like to congratulate Jennifer Iorio again for being Volunteer of the Year for that organization. The Environmental Committee met last night. We had a guest, a Ramsey High School senior, Kate Robertelli. She is working on her senior project where she is instituting Instagram, where she is sharing out ideas on sustainability to the community, and she's looking to find ways to reach out to a wider community. I don't even know how to do this, but her email is Kate's Footprint with an underscore after it. So that's I'm not sure if that's an email or Instagram thing. I don't use Instagram, so I don't know. Also, for the Environmental Committee, they are hosting another drive this Saturday for the Second Chance Toys. It's a nonprofit that rescues gently used toys for children in need. The toys should be clean, they should have all the parts, and the batteries should be working. They cannot accept metal toys. And I'd like to congratulate Jeff Kehoe for winning or being recognized as the Volunteer of the Year for the Environmental Committee. Finally, I would like to congratulate Council President Kilman on his re-election and Councilwoman-elect Sarah Poppy on her election to the Town Council. Both are fantastic people. Mr. Kilman has been a wonderful, wonderful addition and great asset to this town. Sarah Poppy has been involved in so many of our organizations, and I know that she's going to do a phenomenal job as the future councilwoman. I think I covered everything. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman Weber. Now, Councilwoman Jane Woods. Hold on, we'll pass the...
Thank you, Council President. My report is short and sweet this evening. I wish to congratulate Sergeant Michael Parisi and Sergeant Vasiliki Parados on their appointments to lieutenants of the Ramsey Police Department. Thank you for your service. I also want to congratulate Councilman Peter Kilman and Councilwoman-elect Sarah Poppy on their election. We are so lucky to have such dedicated public servants in our community. Thank you, really. Running for election is not easy, and I look forward to working with you both. The Board of Health will hold their next meeting tomorrow night, November 11th, and the Ramsey Senior Trustee Meeting will hold their meeting tomorrow as well. I will have a lot to report at our next meeting with the holiday party approaching and new members being added to the Board of Trustees. The Design Review Board meeting will be held Tuesday, November 23rd. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Woods. Utilities, Buildings, and Grounds, that is mine. First, I'd like to say tomorrow is Veterans Day. There will be a ceremony at Veterans Park at 11 o'clock. However, there will not be a service at 9 a.m. at Union Cemetery, which is normally what is the custom. But that's the way it is, tomorrow, 11 a.m. At Veterans Park. Mine is short and sweet as well because of the timing of this meeting. Next week, Board of Public Works is on Monday the 15th. Zoning is on Wednesday the 17th, and Shade Tree is on Thursday the 18th. I also want to congratulate Sergeant Parisi and Sergeant Paratos on their appointments to the Ramsey Police Department. And that is all I have. Public and Governmental Relations, Councilman Jones.
Thank you, Council President Kilman. I would offer up my congratulations to our two new lieutenants, Sergeants Periados and Parisi. And I congratulate them and wish them all the best as they will take over on January 1st in their new roles. The Pool Commission, I have nothing to report at this time. The Farmers Market, Farmers Market continues every Sunday and will throughout the year and the rest of the year with a wide array of programming and vendors, and I would encourage everyone to continue to support that. Our Chamber of Commerce, in November is, the last 6 weeks of the year are make or break for a lot of businesses, and I would encourage everyone to shop local, continue to support our small businesses. Small Business Saturday is November 27th. And just remind everyone, too, that the Chamber of Commerce website not only highlights and features the Main Street shops that we may see, but there's a lot of other goods and services that many of our residents have in home-based businesses and other services that they can offer. So continue to look to the Chamber website for those things and consider helping a local business and a neighbor. I would also offer up my congratulations to Councilwoman-elect Sarah Fisher Poppy and my colleague to my left here, Council President Kilman, and I step away after a good many of years knowing that we have an excellent person coming in who will do a great job, and the council will be better for it. So I look forward to watching you grow into this role, Sarah, and your contributions to the council and to the community at large as well. That's all I have in my report tonight. And Ms. Bendian, when is our next meeting? Is it-
Monday, November 29th.
I just want to go on the record, we're not meeting on Wednesday due to the holiday with Thanksgiving, so we will be on Monday, the 29th, will be our next council meeting, so that's a change of schedule. And for our friends out there in TV land and on the phone, you will know when our next meeting is. Thank you. I will pass. pass this on down.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Jones. Health, Education, and Social Services, Councilwoman Judy Cusick.
Good evening, this is Councilwoman Cusick's report for 10 November 2021. I congratulate Michael Parisi and Vasily Perodos for their appointments as lieutenants this coming January. Tomorrow is Veterans Day, and I have to thank those who serve our country and who served my country like my dad. You are my heroes. Congratulations, Pete and Sarah. The report tonight will provide an update regarding our planning board, the Ramsey Board of Education, and Ramsey Responds. There was a planning board meeting on the 3rd of November. There were 5 waivers approved: Prospect Auto New York, Incorporated, Muscle First Chiropractic, LLC, Javad Hazegi, Lilly and Todd Corporation, and Rome Inc. The Ramsey Planning Board also published the 2022 annual schedule of regular and special meetings. It was presented, and members of the planning board are reviewing the dates and providing comments. Next planning board meeting is 16th November 2021. For the Ramsey Board of Ed, I encourage our town members to keep current with the Board of Education activities, because 69% of the Ramsey residents' property taxes are for the Board of Ed. Please note the meetings are recorded and posted on the platform YouTube. Once in YouTube, search Ramsey Board of Ed. The meetings are listed and sorted by date. As Council Weber noted, the Madison Holleran Foundation Suicide Prevention Speaker is occurring right now this evening at the Ramsey High School. It started at 7:30. The primary mission of the Madison Holleran Foundation is to prevent suicides and to assist those in a crisis situation. Next Board of Ed meeting is the 23rd of November. For Ramsey Responds, they conduct their Thanksgiving food drive on the 19th November, which is Friday, from 2:30 to 5:30 p.m. at the garage behind St. Paul's Church. For the food pantry, donations are always welcome. The collections occur every Tuesday from 4 to 5:30 at St. Paul's, with distribution on Fridays. And there's a Ramsey Response social media page that contains additional information regarding projects and requests for the pantry. Council President, that's my update for this evening.
Thank you, Councilwoman Cusick. And now, Mayor Deirdre Dillon.
Good evening, thank you. I want to congratulate Council President Kilman on his reelection. I look forward to working with you. And congratulations to Sarah Poppy. I look forward to working with her in her new role as councilwoman, because I've been working with her as the head of the Municipal Alliance and a few other things. So congratulations to you both. Congratulations to Sergeant Parisi and Sergeant Perodos on the promotion to lieutenant effective January. I know that they will do a great job and serve the PD proud. And just a little bit of the Veterans Day service is tomorrow at 11 o'clock, the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, at Veterans Memorial Park. That's across from the old Board of Ed building on Main Street. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Dillon. Borough Administrator, Mr. Bruce Lozette.
Thank you, Council President. A few comments tonight. I would, first off, just congratulate, again, Council President Kilman and Sarah Poppy on their election. I look forward to working with them in the upcoming term. Also, I would thank actually all candidates who ran for elected office, whether successful or not. The fact that people are willing to put themselves out there to serve our residents is a good sign. And I appreciate everybody who puts in the effort to do that and serve our town. A couple things that were brought up earlier, I would just comment from public comment. First off, there was a question regarding arsenic cartridges. We did have cartridges from the old filter systems. We still have an inventory of them. We are using some of them in temporary usage in our Brookfield well that we have temporarily brought back online in accordance with DEP, which we did last summer and this summer, and we will continue to do that before we put in a more permanent treatment system at that well. So we are utilizing them, and anything at the end of that time frame that we have not utilized, we will look to remarket to other people who could utilize them. Question regarding Island and Williams, that was a municipal aid grant. The bulk of that is for road resurfacing in those two areas. The Island would complete the area that we held off on resurfacing as we're waiting for the utilities for the approved development of additional homes there. Once that's done, so we will complete that road resurfacing, and Williams Drive was, again, one of the lower rated roads in the community, so that was a target for resurfacing as well, and the municipal aid funding. Okay, a couple of resolutions that were on the agenda I'll just talk about. The borough had applied for the vehicle donation, also mentioned in public comment through the federal 1033 program on surplus equipment. There's no charge for the vehicle. It would provide a safety enhanced vehicle with the capability to protect residents, injured individuals, or our officers from ammunition fired from some of the AR platform rifles. This type of firearm and ammunition would penetrate through current vest shields and normal patrol vehicles, so the donation would provide added safety to be utilized for specific crisis situations should they arise. Resolutions 202 and 203 on the agenda are the result of the promotion process ongoing with the retirement of Chief Gurney and Captain Stitz, along with the promotions of current Lieutenants Lyman and Shervin to Chief and Captain, respectively, effective January 1st, 2022. With the two lieutenant openings from their promotions, the Police Department command staff interviewed the 6 applicants for lieutenant, presented all 6 to the Council Public Safety Committee to interview. Mayor Dillon was in Councilman Jones' spot on the Public Safety Committee, and I also participated in the interview process. It was a strong group of candidates. The final result at the Public Safety's recommendation was to promote the current sergeants Parisi and Perotis and their resolution and the mayor's appointment were on the agenda tonight with the confirming council resolution. Resolution 204. Over the last couple of months, the clerk and health departments have been researching new software programs to handle licenses and permits for those two departments. The current software programs are antiquated, not flexible to changes, and lack the functionality for new changes such as electronic payment and contactless online renewals. We spoke with a number of vendors and received proposals from 4 finalists. GovPilot best fit the functionality, compatibility, and operational flexibility the departments were looking for to provide enhanced service and flexibility to the residents. The resolution awards the contract for the software and migration of the current data to the new software. And Resolution 207 is a line-to-line budget transfer in the 2021 budget. Under New Jersey municipal finance regulations, a municipality may not make budget transfers prior to November. This or any budget transfer does not increase the overall budget or tax levy, but simply reallocates between line items if actual or unforeseen expenditures require budget modifications. We do not have any ordinances for introduction or public hearing tonight. I would comment there will probably be ordinances for consideration at the next meeting regarding capital items and equipment for the police, fire, rescue, DPW, and some projects. For instance, handicap bathrooms here at Borough Hall for renovations, as well as some of other things where we have grants that's mitigating the overall cost. So some of those projects will be in for capital funding at the next meeting. We will also look at reviewing the pet licenses through ordinance with a minor adjustment to the fees charged for pet licensing as well. And that's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Borough Administrator, or Mr. Bose. Counselor?
Yes, I'd just like to join in offering congratulations to you and to Councilman Les Coffey and to both officers on their promotion. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Our Borough Clerk, Ms. Bendian.
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to confirm the date for the reorg and the time. It's actually sign a die and reorg, and I just want to confirm Monday, January 3rd, that is okay for everybody. And if we do 6:30 sign a die and 7 p.m. reorg. Everyone's okay with that timing?
Yeah.
Okay. So 6:30 and 7 it is on the 3rd.
Yeah, I think that was the date we agreed to, correct?
Great,
Yeah.
thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mrs. Andian. We have no introduction of ordinances tonight. Is there any unfinished business?
Council President, I would be remiss not to congratulate and/or more so thank our Borough Clerk, Meredith Bendian, and Deputy Clerk Sherry Richards, and Kelly here for their fine efforts on not only volunteer night last month, where they painstakingly go through to ensure that everyone's names are spelled right and all the organizations are represented, and also on Election Day, which I know is a crazy time for you all here. So I didn't get to say it last month because of the schedule of events, but I just wanted to say that and thank you for those efforts and for making volunteer night. That was our 13th. We found out too that we've done, so thank you all for that, and thanks Sherry. I know I told her last time, but let's put that on the record. That's all, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Jones, for saying that. I don't know why it slipped my mind, or anybody's mind, but thank you so much, Meredith. I mean, that is a Herculean task that day, especially with a lot of the issues that were coming up, so thanks again.
You're welcome.
Is there any new business? Not seeing any, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are done.
Put it in the books.